Hey guys, it's Kim here with Fairily Fiber Fun. Thanks for joining me on this drum carder deep spa treatment. So today we are working with the standard brother drum carder. If you have the deluxe model, it'll be just a little bit different. Um, but this is the regular standard brother. And the first thing we're going to do, I'm not even going to take the wool out of the drums first. I'm just going to take it all apart. It is actually easier to do this way. But you could, of course, surface clean those two drums first with the hairbrush cleaner. It's up to you. So we take all 8 screws out, and then we remove the what I'm calling the feet, the little wooden parts that the screws uh, hold the drum carder to the frame. And on these drive shafts, there is wool. This is why we're taking it apart, because there's wool stuck all over the place where it shouldn't be, because I have not been the most careful. So today we're taking everything apart, deep cleaning everything, and moisturizing, and then we'll put it all back together again. I will try to record a surface clean, like a less intense cleaning of the drum carder with my baby brother here soon, but this is the more intense one that you would do every couple of years. You can see there's a lot of wool and fuzz and lint build up here in the drive groove. And if that gets built up until the groove is filled up, your drive band won't stay put. Um, and that's true for both the big groove, the big drive wheel, and the little one. So I am going to be cleaning this all wooden parts with a barely damp and soapy washcloth, and then going back through with some greasy stuff that actually came with the Magicraft. My Magicraft Rose, when I purchased it, it came with a little tin of salve, and that's what I'm going to use to condition the wood. So, um, everywhere that there tends to be buildup of dirt, I am paying extra special attention to. I am cleaning inside the groove, but I will not be moisturizing it because you don't want your dry band to slip. So once I have the parts clean that I need to clean, then I'm going to put the wooden parts, I'm going to put this back together. And I totally forget to put grease on oh my gosh, I just said it a second ago. Uh, Drive shaft, the shaft that goes through the center of the drum. I forgot to do that on the smaller drum, but I did it on the big one. So, recommended to grease your metal parts, your metal bars, so that they don't end up squeaking and squealing while you're using your drum carder. To get your drums clean, you want to brush the direction that the tines are facing. The tines are facing me in this instance, and I am brushing towards me, but I'm also brushing sideways. There, I'm brushing the right direction. So, and you can do that with the drum carder fully assembled. And that's how I typically will clean these drums. I won't take it apart or anything like that. So time to give I do give the drive band a light clean and then set it aside to dry. And it is recommended to dust your table off. I was finished up some carding before I did this, and so I didn't clean the table until I was in the middle of this portion where I am conditioning the wood. And the stuff that came with the Magicraft wheels smells so good. I don't remember what they put in it, but it smells really good, and I like it, and the wood seems to like it. And don't worry about it being a little overly greasy, because the wood will soak it in over the next 24 hours. So a little extra is okay. And you can go to your local supermarket and get furniture polish or wood polish, and it comes like in a spray bottle, and you just spritz it on either your rag or the wood itself, and then you wipe it down good with a soft rag. The rag I am using is something that I wove out of cheap cotton yarn, cookies and cream cotton yarn from Walmart, and I was using a child's pot holder loom where you use the little cotton loops and make your own woven pot holders with it. So I used yarn instead and made these little washcloths, and they are so nice for cleaning your skin. I like to use them on my face, and I thought they would be perfect for conditioning wood. And it definitely needed it because I don't know if you can see how dirty that rag is getting. Oh, whew, it is nasty. So yeah, I should have done this like 6 months ago, a year ago, and 6 months ago. As much as I use my drum carder, I should do this probably twice a year. But it might be a once a year thing. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. So just keep going with the cleaning and the conditioning, but do not condition the grooves where the drive band goes because you don't want that to be slippery. You want the drive band to grab it. You want the drums to turn when you turn the handle, you know? You don't want the drive band to turn and just slip, 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 slip. That's not what you want. All right, so now it's time to take the grub screw out of the handle, and again, Magicraft tools to the rescue. One of the Allen wrenches fits perfectly in this particular grub screw, and either the Allen wrench came with the drum carder and I stuck it in the same bag, or it was one of the Allen wrenches that came with the spinning wheel. Regardless, spinning wheel kit to the rescue. And then I had a really hard time removing the drum, but decided before I went too far, I would put the grub screw with the bolts so that I wouldn't lose anything. And then I tore up my arm getting the handle off because, like a dummy, I was holding the drum carder with my bare arm against my shirt very carefully and gently. But I did not wash my arms immediately afterwards, and I should have. So the germs and dirt and stuff that was on the drum carder that got into the barely surface of my skin did cause a rash the next day. But that was when I cleaned thoroughly and sanitized and put lotion on my skin. I think I used coconut oil as it is antibacterial. So, and that was fine. We took off the handle of the foot, and 2 washers, and then just cleaning everything very thoroughly, making sure I got all the wool off of that metal bar there that I keep forgetting the name of because my brain. Making sure I've got everything as clean as I want it to be, and then trying to figure out how I'm going to hold this thing while I clean the carding cloth itself. Now, you can take a blower and blow out the dirt that's in the carding cloth. You can also vacuum your carder. In this case, I'm just using the hairbrush cleaner. That's it. There doesn't seem to be a huge amount of dirt and dust buildup in the tines in the carding cloth itself. So, because I have been cleaning it fairly frequently as I card different bats for Fiber Club, I have been keeping it fairly clean as far as the carding cloth itself, and most of the dirt and dust and debris has been going on the table underneath the carder. So it hasn't been terribly dirty. The drive shaft needs a bit of lubrication, a grease version, not liquid oil. And I should have done this on both ends of both carders, but I didn't. I just did this one. I may have done the other end on this drum. I'm not sure. But anyway, if it gets to squealing and complaining when I use it, I will take it apart and redo this part. I'll just oil those shafts and everything will be fine. So you should not have to put liquid oil on your drum carder. If you have treated those metal parts properly, they won't need a drop of oil or two. If it starts squealing and stuff, it probably means you need to clean your drum carder. But mine has not been squeaky at all. My table is squeaky, but not the drum carder. So, yeah, that's good news. We want it to be good. You reassemble the drum carder in the order that you disassembled it. Put your grub screw back in. You got to line up the hole in the handle with the groove. The little, it's not a groove, it's a partial hole in the drive shaft so that the grub screw will connect the two together. And although it is a tiny little screw, it is bigger than most grub screws that I have worked with. The ones with the Magicraft wheel and in the Woolly Winder flyer and stuff, those are tiny. You lose that, you're not going to find it. I mean, if you drop it, you're not going to find it. So at least this one's big enough to see. So next we have to assemble the entire drum carder. Everything's clean, everything's ready to go. Oh yeah, I forgot I haven't finished this one. So again, cleaning and, oh, looks like I already cleaned. Apparently not good enough. And then making sure to put grease on this end. I did. Good. I didn't remember because it's been like a week since I recorded this. And it's almost Christmas, so yeah, you won't get to see this until New Year probably, but Happy New Year, everybody. Yeah, now we're ready to reassemble, and I'm going to let you watch me fuss and fight with it and try to figure out how this thing goes together and how to put it together, and then realize that I am making extra trouble for myself. So, the first thing you want to do is put your drive band through the little whorl on the big drum. Don't worry about anything else. Yes, you're going to have to twist it, and I'm showing you that. Otherwise, it won't do its job. So the first step to this craziness here is to anchor your big drum with the screws. Just screw those feet in place and make sure you put that big drum as close to the back of your carder as it will go without the tines scrubbing against the back of the frame. And then you can do the rest. So this is what I finally figure out while I'm working on this. But yeah, I thought it would be an interesting little bit to leave that in and let you see that my brain sometimes takes a while to catch up with reality here. Or, sometimes I get on a one-track train or something and then I can't seem to switch gears. So yes, then you put your drive band around the other drum and you anchor very, very loosely. You just put your screws in there where you can still slide your liquor drum back and forth. I guess I am putting the drive band on first, which you can certainly do here. The drums are touching each other, and so there's not tension on the drive band, and it's very, very easy to do this part. So, but you do need to put your screws in place before you can finish, and that means you'll have to slide the drums apart. And in this case, you're only moving the smaller drum at the front. And as I get to the last screw, I have lost a washer, which I will find later. You will see it in a moment. I found it as I was editing this footage. And you can see it right there in the top where the arrow is pointing to is the washer I'm missing. So got to make sure that I've tightened down the big drum all the way in place. It is as close to the back as the screws will allow it to go. And then I'm showing you with my library card how I am testing the width between the distance between the drums. And then I'm ended up asking one of my children for help. Yes, it can be done without help, but this is so much better. So you want your card to be able to slide between the drums with an equal amount of ease or resistance. So you don't want the tines scrubbing against each other. And here I'm asking him to loosen the screw so I can shift it ever so slightly because one side was either too close or too far than the other. And you want those drums the same distance all the way across. Otherwise, your fibers will not get pulled onto the drum evenly and you will have a frustrating mess every time you sit down to card or stand up to cart as I do every time you try to use your drum carder. So, and then you go through and you make sure everything is really tight. There I have found the the washer, so I stick it on. But since the other screw is good and tight, nothing shifted. Okay, last check with the library card to make sure that everything is good to go. And now I'm ready to turn the handle and test out the drum carder's functionality, make sure I did everything right. And yes, you see the two wheels are turning in opposite, the two drums are turning in opposite directions. And here is all the crud that came off, especially around those drive shafts. That was a mess. All right. I thank you so much for joining me for this hopefully entertaining drum carder spa treatment. And as per usual, I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.